Hello students, welcome back to Electrical Science 1 course. In this lecture, we'll study about electrical circuit analysis. In electrical circuit analysis, we'll try to understand what is nodal analysis and we will solve one or two problems on the nodal analysis. In the previous lectures, we have defined what is electrical circuit elements and how electrical circuit consists of nodes, branches and loops. And after that, we are using KCL and KVL to get a linear equations. On solving the equations, we can determine unknown branch currents and unknown voltages across the branches. But what is electrical circuit analysis is a step-by-step scientific procedure in order to determine unknown branch currents and node voltages. See, in KCL and KVL, students are free to apply or change the branch currents as per their own wish. Finally, you will get a set of n number of equations. That n number of equations are not defined. But you want to solve the electrical circuit using a computer software, or you want to develop a software which can solve and give the unknown branch currents and unknown node voltages, then we need to follow certain scientific procedure. So, in electrical circuit analysis, first we are going to define unknown quantities as variables. Then we are going to apply KCL and KVL at nodes and along a meshes. Then which will result into a set of equations which are sufficient to solve unknown variables. So electrical circuit analysis is a standard analysis wherein it is used to determine the unknown branch currents and node voltages. And there are two different types of electrical circuit analysis. One is nodal analysis, another is mesh analysis. So in this lecture, we'll study about nodal analysis. First, let us recall what is a node in an electrical circuit. An node in an electrical circuit is a junction wherein two or more circuit elements join together. Node may not be a simple junction. Node is an interconnection of all the wires until unless you'll encounter another circuit element. So we need to follow certain steps in a nodal analysis. Step number one is, first you need to choose the reference node. Okay, the reference node is considered as at ground potential, or else the reference node voltage is considered to be 0 volts node. Then assign the node voltages to other nodes. Apply KCL to each node and express the currents in terms of node voltages. Then solve the resulting set of linear equations for the node voltages. So basically, node analysis consists of 4 steps. First, you need to choose the reference node, which is considered as a ground potential. Then assign the node voltages and refer the node voltages with respect to reference node. Apply KCL to each node. Write down the KCL equation and represent those currents with a KCL equation in terms of node voltages. Then you simplify these equations, you will get set of linear equations which can be simplified either substitution method or Cramer's rule, or you can use your calculator in order to determine unknown node voltages. When node voltages are determined, we can find out current through any branch or voltage across any branch in a circuit. Let us understand what is a ground potential or reference node. So in general, different textbook will follow the different notations to express the ground potential. So, in practical, ground is very good conductor of electricity. That is, point is at 11 kV with respect to ground. When a person will touch this 11 kV and the man is standing on a ground, what is going to happen is 11 kV, this is at 11 kV potential, ground will be always at 0 potential. 11 kV minus 0 by your resistance, that amount of current will flow through your body. So if the amount of current, for example, let us think 11 kV and your resistance is 11 ohms. So 1000 amperes of current will flow through the body and you will become ash. That's the reason whenever there is a potential difference or whenever there are the electrical lines, having higher potential with respect to ground, they will mention the amount of voltage, danger 440 kV. So if you touch the live wire standing on a ground, 400 or 440 kV by your resistance, that amount of current will flow. So in an electrical circuit, we have to identify the reference node and we'll express other node voltages in terms of reference voltage. So how to identify the reference node? Generally, in an electrical circuit, the node which is in downward direction, or else the node which is connecting to majority number of circuit elements is considered as a reference node. So in this circuit, there are four nodes, 2, 3, and 4. You can see this fourth node is connecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circuit elements, and we can consider these are the higher potential nodes and these are the lower potential nodes. So first identify the ground node or identify the reference node and assign this node voltage as 0 volts. Now, if at all we determine or we define this as node voltage V1, so V1 is measured voltage with respect to this reference or ground. V2 is measured with respect to this reference node voltage, and V3 is measured with respect to this reference node which is at 0 volts. So generally, first step in nodal analysis is you identify the reference node. Okay, so and assign that reference node or ground node is at 0 volts potential. Coming to second step. Once you assign the reference node, we need to assign the node voltages. That means apart from the reference node, if there are n number of nodes, okay, nth node is considered as a reference node. N minus 1 nodes should be assigned as a node voltages like V1, V2, V3 up to Vn minus 1. So second step is assign node voltages to the other nodes. So in our circuit, this is considered as a reference node. This is considered as a reference node. The remaining 3 nodes are assigned as V1, V2, V3. That means the point 1 is at higher potential with respect to reference node, and the potential difference between these 2 points, 1 and reference node, is V1. And the potential difference between 2 and reference node is V2. And the potential difference between 3 and ground is V3. So now, in order to identify the currents in different branches of this circuit, we need to identify 3 different unknowns. So in order to simplify this equation, or in order to do the circuit analysis of this circuit, we need to have 3 linear algebraic equations. Once you simplify, the 3 linear algebraic equations are sufficient to determine 3 different unknowns. Once you know unknowns, we can find out current through each and every branch, and we can also determine the voltage across any branch. So having done with the second step, the third step is apply KCL at each node, write down the KCL equation, and then express the currents in terms of node voltages. So what I mean to say is that we need to assign the currents in between the nodes. So for example, the current is flowing from V1 to V2. Okay, we can say this current is an incoming current. Let us suppose the current flowing in 500 ohms is I1. So in KCL, you will write down I1 is equal to I2 plus I3. Now, second step is first write a KCL equation, then express this current in terms of node voltages. Remember, always current will flow from higher potential to lower potential, but we don't know which is that higher potential. So let us assume V1 is at higher potential and V2 is at lower potential. Current is flowing from V1 to V2. So the current in a particular branch can be expressed as potential difference between the 2 points divided by its resistance. So this current flowing through 500 ohms can be represented as V1 minus V2 by 400. Similarly, this is at V1 potential and this is at ground potential. So how we can express the current flowing through this? It is nothing but current is flowing from V1 to 0 volts potential divided by its resistance. So let us write a KCL for the node 1 in the previous problem. incoming current is I1. Let the outgoing currents are two currents. Let us assign this is I2, this is I3. So once you apply the KCL, we are going to get an equation that I1 is equal to, sure. So I1 is equal to V1 minus V2 by R plus V1 minus 0 by 500 ohms. Current, we can write down it as the current direction as we have indicated, V2 minus V1 by 500, and the current direction is indicated from V2 to V3. So the current is V2 minus V3 by 500, and the current through this 1 kilo ohm resistance is V2 minus 0 by 1 kilo ohm. Let us apply the KCL at node 3. So given the current directions in this, so the students are free to assign the current direction, but you need to be careful while writing the equations. So incoming current I2 is equal to outgoing current V3 minus V2 by 500 plus V3 minus 0 by 500. Okay, so now we got three different equations. Once you simplify the three different equations, there are three algebraic equations and there are three unknowns. So you can simplify the three algebraic equations either either using the substitution method, or you can represent the three algebraic equation in terms of matrix analysis and use Cramer's law to determine V1, V2, V3. So we have first applied KCL, okay, across this node. So first step is take a reference node, then indicate the node voltages V1, V2, V3. Then apply KCL at V1. So the incoming current I1 is equal to outgoing current V1 minus 0 by 500, V1 minus V2 by 500. Then you apply the KCL at node 2. Assume that currents are flowing outside itself. So V2 minus V1 by 500, V2 minus 0 by 1 kilo ohm, V2 minus V3 by 500. So once you come to V3, apply the KCL, assume the current directions are outgoing and this current direction is incoming. Then I2 is equal to V3 minus 0 by 500, V3 minus V2 by 500. Okay, summing up all these three equations, we can get the voltage across the 1 kilo ohm is equal to 167 I1 plus 167 I2. Once you know I1, I2, you can find out voltage across any branch and current through any branch. Now let us write a nodal equations for this circuit. So this circuit, and do remember when we will go for a nodal analysis, if the circuit consists of more number of current sources, then we will go for a nodal analysis. If the circuit consists of more number of voltage sources, then we will go for a mesh analysis. So in this circuit, as shown in the circuit, so it consists of two current sources I1 and I2. It consists of three resistors R1, R2, R3. We need to find out the node voltages. Already he has given this as a reference node, and this node is 1 and this node 2 is 2. So let us assign node voltage, this consider as a reference node. This is node voltage V1. The second node is considered as node voltage V2. Then we are going to assign the current directions. Let the current flowing through R1 is in downward direction and it is identified as I1. Let the current flowing through R2 is I2, flowing from V1 to V2. Let the current flowing through R3 is I3, so it is flowing from V2 to ground. So this is at zero potential. Then we need to apply KCL at V1, we will get one equation. We need to apply KCL at V2, we will get second equation. On simplifying these two equations, we can determine V1 and V2, provided if we will give some values to the current sources.
So when you apply the KCL to node voltage V1, so incoming current is capital I1, outgoing current is I2 and small I1. So capital I1 is equal to small I1 plus small I2. If you apply the KCL to the node 2, the incoming current is I2 plus capital I2 plus small I2, outgoing current is I3. So first we are going to apply the KCL for the node 1. You can see the incoming current is I1. Okay, so the incoming current is capital I1. What are the outgoing currents? One current is flowing through R1, that is small I1. Another current is flowing through R2, that is small I2. And one more current is going outside. Don't forget this capital I2. Capital I. This is at node 1. So let us apply the KCL at node 2. What is incoming current? The incoming current at node 2 is small I2. Another incoming current with a respect to current source, capital I2, which is equal to total outgoing current I3. Okay, so what we have done is that initially we have applied KCL at V1 and KCL at V2, and we are writing the KCL equations in terms of currents. That is, first step is over. Second step, only half part of the second step we have completed. Second part of the second step is we need to rewrite these current equations in terms of node voltages. So how to write a current? The current should be written as V higher minus V lower by R. So if you represent small I1, the current is flowing from V1 to 0. So small I1 will be V1 minus 0 by R1. Okay. Small I2 will be V1 minus V2 by R2. Okay. Small I1 will be V1 minus 0 by R1. So 1 by R1 can be represented as a conductance G1 into V1. And small I2 is represented between V1 minus V2 by R2, which can also be written as G2 into V1 minus V2. And what is the third current flowing through R3? V2 minus 0 by R3, or G3 into V2. So second step is completed. We have identified the currents, and the currents are represented in terms of node voltages. Then we will replace the currents with respect to node voltages. As if you substitute the values of small I1, small I2, small I3 in the above equation, it is going to result in capital I1 is equal to capital I2 plus V1 by R1 plus V1 minus V2 by R2. In the same way, capital I2 plus V1 minus V2 by R2 is equal to V2 by R3. If you simplify these equations, we can write down in terms of conductance, like I1 minus I2 is equal to G1 V1, taking I2 on the left hand side, plus G2 into V1 minus V2, whereas I2 is equal to taking 1 by R2 as G2 on right hand side, minus G2 V1 minus V2 plus G3 into V3. So we can rewrite these equations in terms of node voltages, like V1 into G1 plus G2 minus V2 into G2 is equal to I1 minus I2. Second equation can be rewritten as minus G2 I1 plus G3 plus G2 into V2 is equal to I2. Okay, then we can rewrite the equation and then represent in the form of a matrix form. Once you got the matrix form, then there are two ways you can simplify. You can use the Cramer's rule, determine delta. Okay, Ax is equal to B, determine the delta, then determine delta 1, then determine delta 2, then I1 V1 is equal to delta 1 by delta, V2 is equal to delta 2 by delta. So there is another way you can use, first find out G1 or G2 in terms of G2 and substitute in other equation and try to identify. A third simpler way is that you can use your scientific calculator. So you can use your scientific calculator to simplify these two algebraic equations and determine directly V1 and V2. How to use scientific calculator to solve the linear equations, I am going to explain in the separate video